Dr. P here to talk about use of graphics in rules. This derives from a question I was asked when I was giving a presentation at Gen Con 2014. We've all heard the phrase, "a picture is worth 1,000 words." Unfortunately, pictures tend to be evocative rather than precise, and rules must be precise. So if you rely too much on graphics in the rules, you may not be sufficiently clear. And remember, a large part of the objective here is to be clear. Now, examples of play that use graphics, for example, to show the positions on a map, are desirable because it makes it easier to understand the example. But examples are not the rules themselves, they're illustrations of the rules. Graphics for the sake of graphics do not make a lot of sense in my view. But other people have different opinions. I remember reading a book from MIT Press, which is known as something that focuses on the brain, and periodically there were photographs or drawings in the book which had virtually nothing to do with the topics in the book, other than it was about games and the drawings and pictures were about games. I would never bother to put those in, but some people feel that it's more friendly or somehow it's better. Obviously, I am heavily word-oriented and not graphics-oriented. And if you recall what things were like when I grew up, you might understand why. There were no personal computers, let alone smartphones. There were 2 or 3 black and white TV networks, period. There was no World Wide Web or internet. Lots of photography and movies were still black and white. I was not exposed to graphics when I was young the way young people are nowadays. So I may not tend to use graphics enough. Now I do like diagrams, such as this diagram, which helps illustrate the setup in a Space War game, and this simple diagram, which shows movement around a table, just to make it more clear than words were what's going on. In other words, use graphics to enhance understanding, not to be pretty or fancy.